have anyone to talk to about it. And I think what the kicker was at that time, I worked in maternity at the hospital. So I saw like pamphlets that were just so generic, like pregnancy loss or, just like random things, nothing about infertility. So it was very new. Um, or I'd see like young kids or young teenagers come in and want to abort, their children. So I had like all these feelings where I hadn't processed myself and trying so hard to have kids that I was this young, well, in my 20s, trying to figure it out and not realizing Dal was trying to figure it out too. So I think for about 8 months, we were just kind of on our own independent journey on surviving what we were in, that after a while we realized that we had created a bit of a distance in our own relationship as well, and had to really have like a hard talk around, look, if this doesn't work and we don't have kids, what does that mean for us? So it forced us to have conversation.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Journey Journals podcast. I'm your host, Antonio-Dunn, and I have Vicki Gill here. I was going to say your maiden name.
Oh yeah.
Um, I have Vicki Gill here, and it's episode 6 already. Holy moly. Yeah, thank you so much for being on.
You're welcome. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So I met Vic. I don't even know how long ago, but you went to elementary school with my best friend, and that's where we met. But I don't
Yeah.
remember what grade it was.
I think we might have been in grade 6 because the Mitchell kids used to come over to our elementary school and then we'd all, kind of hang out, get all ready for our high school. Yeah, I think it was probably grade 6. So that would have had to have been 96, 95,
Yeah.
96. I know, the
Yeah,
90s.
I know, I know. I mean, but we're like really 30 right now.
But totally,
So
forever 29, actually.
yeah, and like I remember meeting you, and you are so nice. Like actually everyone who's friends with Renee, my best friend, is amazing. Like she's not friends with anyone who isn't. So,
Aw,
you
it's the
know.
water we had in our elementary school, kindness water.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah, do you want to tell everyone a little bit about you? Because I could say a lot.
Oh, let's
Yeah.
see. Let's just do like the sparks notes of it so I don't bore your audience. So yeah, we met in the 90s era, lovely era. I am what am I? I'm South Asian. I am a sibling to three others. So there's four of us. I'm number two. I'm a wife. Now I have got two little kitties, aged 8 and 6. By profession, I know 8 and 6, right? I have a boy and a little girl who's literally my duplicate. I copy and pasted that one. So my husband, as soon as he thought he got used to me, there's another one. I mean,
Love it.
but my son's just like my husband. By day, I'm a social worker. That's like one of the biggest passions I got to kind of translate into my occupation because I love helping people. I knew that early on. I didn't know I'd be paid for it. So when this, came about, I was like, that's exactly what I want to do. It wasn't really talked about when I was going through high school and university. Uh, it took me doing a diploma in business where I was like, I am not business savvy at all. I'm just going to give everybody free things. So I knew, once again, helping, right? So yeah, by day, I'm a social worker. On the side, to kind of mediate or mitigate some of my stress, I make cookies, which are just decorative cookies. And
Yes.
that too was a passion thing where I was coping with infertility, which is a huge part of a page that I have on my content creation page. I was actually just doing cookies as a passion and an outlet, and then it turned into a business and it kind of flew off, which is so humbling and lovely. And then during both my kids are IVF babies, so during that time, no one was going through it or no one talked about it. So after I had my son, and then again I had to do IVF for my daughter, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to talk about this, and I'm so glad I did because I swear on a daily I'll have people just talking to me about their struggle, their journey. So I'm happy that I'm doing that. So I'm busy. I think I'm used to being busy. And one of the things I need to really learn to do is just sit still.
Yeah. What is that like?
Right? I don't know. Right now, this is sitting still, still being
I
productive
know,
though.
like me and our schedules trying to like get this together, like
Yeah, you're
was
amazing.
crazy.
You've been amazing. I know, like, I think we originally wanted to sit together in December. Probably the
Yeah.
worst month for both of us to kind of pick, being super ambitious.
Yeah.
And then it got pushed to January, and thankfully now we finally get to
I
sit.
know. No, it was like I always think that when things get canceled or missed, it's for a certain reason, and would never want to push someone to
Mm-hmm.
like do it because they might not be in the right headspace. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Or I might not be,
Yeah.
or I always take it like as like it's something's happening for a reason.
Yeah.
So that's why I never like. I don't know. I'm always like, yeah, like for sure, let's reschedule because
No, you've been amazing. You really have been super accommodating and super like empathetic to like whatever the situation has been and flexible. So, and it makes like the person on the other end be like, I want to sit down. I really want to sit and talk to
Aw,
you. So thank you. Thank you for that.
thank you. And what I love about this is that like I whoever is on the other end, I could literally talk to forever. And yeah, sometimes I forget that we're on a podcast, but
You're just kicking
um
it with a friend.
kicking it, yeah. Yeah, tell me about you should tell everyone how much of a big Canucks fan you are.
Oh yeah. Okay, so like this is something, you know what's so funny? So when I got married, well actually while my husband and I were dating, he didn't realize how big of a Canucks fan or just a sports fan I am. He's the polar opposite. Like he doesn't follow sports. He didn't play any sport growing up or into athletics. And I think that's like so foreign to like yourself and myself, just like not playing. But hey, he was very like STEM motivated, like all that brainy work stuff, which is great because that's how my son turned out. And I'm like, yeah, you're a genius. Um, but while I was playing sports in '94, which dates us, gosh, my aunt was really into the Canucks, and that's when they had the surge to the playoffs, and I was hooked. Like just the what was it? The energy, of like the city, the problem. And I was young. I have to say, like, okay, do I say my real age? Yes, I do. I was 9, 8 or 9 at that
If you say
time.
yours, you're saying
I
mine.
know, I'm sorry. Cat's out of the bag. Yeah, no, so I was hooked from the very beginning. Like during that playoff rush, I was like, whoa, this is adrenaline. Like I love this. And that was in elementary. And then from there in high school, I was so into it. I wouldn't miss a game. No one was allowed to call me. And if they did, my parents needed to like let them know, like, during intermission, she'll call you back. Like I lived, ate, and just breathed the Canucks. And then, of course, you turn into an adult, you have all these responsibilities, and I met the love of my life, and that's kind of like on the back burner, but I still love them. I mean, our team's doing poorly now, but that's only now. One day we will win the cup in my lifetime. I
Yeah.
was so obsessed. I was like, I'm gonna get that tattoo on my ankle, and I was like, maybe when we win the cup, so no one calls me a loser.
Speaking is no, no,
Can you imagine? They're like,
no.
you're not a loser, but your team is.
No, I think I don't know. I think it'd be cool. It's so you that like I just think it's so cool.
Oh.
Speaking of hockey, the Olympic Games. Okay, first of all, I haven't really been paying attention to hockey late, like and
Hmm.
actually much of anything on TV, but
Yeah.
I watched the end of that and I was like, and when they were giving the medals, and I was like, when did Sidney Crosby get so freaking hot?
He's so hot. He's so hot, right?
Like now. I
I
think
know.
like
I
I'm
know.
like, what?
Like his little baby face turned into this like rugged
Like
man, right?
man. I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
dang.
I
And
know.
I'm like, and it's not that bad because he's 38.
Right? He's like our age. He's our captain.
Yeah, I'm like,
So
I was like, dang. Anyways, yeah,
yeah.
I just stared. I'm like, wake up. Okay, we're good.
You're like, okay, next time I'll tune in. I'll
Yeah,
watch for Sydney.
exactly. But let's get into your childhood. Like, how was childhood?
It was great. So my dad, excuse me. So yeah, there was the four of us, but we had our extended family as well. So we grew up, there was eight of us. So my siblings and I, which made up the four, half of the other eight, and those were my first cousins on my mom's side. We all grew up very close. We went to the same elementary, we went to the same high school. We all still know each other's friends and family friends. We lived under the same roof for years, which was like just honestly all these little fun play uh, places that people go to now, like Chuck E. Cheese or whatever the other ones. I don't want to name drop, but my childhood, it felt like that. Like I got to kick it with my cousins, my siblings, and every day we had just we'd play house. Well, we called it house, or like everything was plural. House, McDonald, restaurant. I don't know why we just duplicated the same word, but we
Love
just had a blast. I remember one summer we like from just pieces of wood built a go-kart, and it took like all of us, the eight of us, and I think it lasted two runs, and it just kind of broke and crumbled, but we were so motivated to do it again. So yeah, no, my childhood was just pure bliss, and that's what I kind of want to duplicate for my kids too, because it's such a short time. I feel like after 10, and I see this transition with my niece who's 11, and I could just see the things that she used to get so excited for, and now she's like, you're too old for it, and
it.
transitioning into that little preteen phase of life. And I remember it's just all too familiar, where I was like, that pure bliss of childhood is just so time limited that you almost sit there and reminisce all this happiness that kind of came with it without responsibilities. So I have to applaud my parents, my grandma and my aunts, just for giving us that gift of just a beautiful childhood. I really do.
Yeah, I remember going to your house. I still can visualize it in my head, the duplex.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's yeah, right close to Renee's
yeah.
and yeah, it's is yeah, I
It
remember
was
that.
nice, right? Like you just,
Yeah.
and that was the other thing. Like everyone was so close that parents didn't really doubt or have mistrust. Everyone felt safe with all of our like friends and the parents. It isn't like that today, where that safety element was a little bit less than today.
I was just talking about that to somebody yesterday and I was just like I feel like kids don't play outside without their parents
I
anymore at that
know.
age. I'm like I remember just walking to school at
Oh yeah.
you know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like I
It's
feel
so
like
foreign now to think of
yeah.
that. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, fast forward, how did you meet your husband?
Oh my God. Okay, so this was funny. So my best friend, GB Gurjeevan, her and we were invited to a birthday party. This is like in our young 20s, and it was a mutual friend of ours, my husband and mine, that invited us to the birthday party. So I didn't know him. She just said, "You know what? You two are single. What do you have to lose? Let's just go." And I was like, "I'm not going to any guy's birthday party or he doesn't know me and I don't know him. That's so weird, right?" But I mean, that's just the way you met people, through people. So I declined. And my best friend GB was like, "No, no, no, no. Like, we have nothing better to do. Let's just go. It's a Friday night. Let's get ready and go." I still said no. She came over to my house, and so did our other friend. They literally like pushed me in the washroom. They're like, "We are going. Like, what are you going to do? Sit at home?" And I was like, "Okay, fine. Let's just go." So I just entertained them. I was like, "Let's go." It happened to be his birthday party, and so we met at his actual birthday party, and I was interested in him, but I wasn't too sure if he was interested in me. And then there was a little, kink in the plan. His best friend asked me for my number. At that point, I was like, okay, this guy isn't interested in me at all because his best friend is asking me for his number. So I just gave him a fake number. We do what we gotta do. And I just thought I'd never see these people again. He called me out right there and then, called the number, and it went to like the wrong number. And I was like, oh man, darn. So, I gave the correct number. And then at that point, I knew there would just be no chances, because like boys don't break boy code, like if his best friend's interested. And at this point, I was like, I don't even know if he's interested at all anyway. Um, so that mutual friend of ours actually had told my husband, like, no, she was interested because he had called my mutual friend and was like, oh, I'm really interested, but it looks like she's interested in my best friend. I'm like, no. So 2 weeks later, at that point, he had asked my girlfriend for my phone number, but didn't want to just call off of a number I didn't know. So he had Facebook messaged me, just, oh, I wanted to say thank you for coming to my birthday. I think you're lovely. I still have that. I printed it out. I'm such a romantic.
Oh,
I know. And then I hope to see you again. And I apologize. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I came empty-handed. Next time I'll be sure to get you a gift. And every year since then, he'll remind me on his birthday. He's like, this is the best gift I've ever received. It's you in my life. He doesn't even care about his birthday. He just cares that that's the day we met and he'll like celebrate it for that reason. So he's a
oh.
good guy. I know. He's so lovely. And it's just gotten better every year. Touch wood, gosh, right?
Mm.
It's like the one area of my life I'm such an open book. It's like the one area because he's my sanctuary that I keep a little private. So even on my public content creation page, it's very seldom I share him. Just because, there's
You
like
know what? That is so true. Looking back at it now, I'm like, oh yeah.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I believe in energy and I'm just like somebody who promotes like positive energy and but I also know like if you're an energy believer, there's also the other flip side of it, right? You can't have good without the bad without the good.
Mhm.
So, and I know there's some, in the world that crave off of distress and negative energy. So I just would much rather keep him private and he's a place where he relieves, my anxiety or, my place of safety. So why would I want to tempt that?
That is so beautiful. Thank you,
Oh,
Vicky. Like,
yeah,
oh,
of course.
aw, goals.
Aw.
Like your story, like kind of it was kind of like when I met my ex-husband, I gave him a fake name, by the way, because that's what we do, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then look what happens. But yeah, so how long after you guys were dating, you got married, and then
Yeah. So we're polar opposites. So I'm very outgoing and I wouldn't say he's an introvert. And like my husband, he's very thoughtful when he speaks. So I'm very unfiltered, like anything that comes to my I know. So like even to this day, he'll be like, you know what, you just like surprise me. It's because I'm so unfiltered. Like I just don't wait to like filter what's on my mind. It just comes out. I can't help it. Anyways, so being that we're very opposite, one of the things that really brings us together, other than, being good people and kindness, is travel. Both of us love travel. So we had decided when we met, we were only 22, I want to say. So we were young and not ready for marriage, of course. So we decided we would travel as much as we could. And so we traveled for about 5 years. And then he proposed, I want to say when I was 26. And then we got married at 27. So we dated for about 5 years before we got married.
right.
Yeah.
Can you tell me where, and how he proposed?
You know what? Okay, so I do remember, it's like a bit of a blur. It was in a restaurant. It was downtown.
Oh,
So
it's
like
here. Okay.
it was here. So we had already traveled like all these unique places. So I think in our culture too, we had already set the wedding date. We do it backwards in some cases. I think it's different now. So we had already set the date for the wedding. But because he's such a romantic man, he still wanted to do the formal proposal. During the time we were leading up to our wedding, we did have some I want to say like family dynamics that came into play from his side. So there it was like very stressful. So I had family coming in from the UK, the States, Australia, and he had planned a dinner with like my girlfriends and just family and cousins in downtown. I don't even remember the restaurant name, but I do remember it was a Mexican restaurant and there was a full mariachi band that
Mm.
just came out the blue. I know I live for this type of vibrant, like musical performances or displays. So, anyways, I'm like so into this mariachi band and just like dancing and everyone's drinking tequila. And then before you know it, like I turn around and he's like on his knee, and I'm like, oh, like is he tying a shoe? What happened to this guy? Maybe the tequila hit. And then the entire restaurant pauses. Everyone stops talking. The music
I'm getting
stops.
goosebumps.
I know, and I'm just like, whoa, like what is the blip here? And then I registered, I'm like, oh, he's proposing. And then I was just a ball, like just a basket case. And of course I said absolutely. So I said absolutely. And I don't even remember saying this after he asked me. And he said that was the same thing I said when he asked me to be his girlfriend. I said absolutely. And I was like, oh, I'm like, you're so good with details.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Did you like know that he was gonna like propose, or did you think that like, oh, because you guys set the date, like it's just gonna you're just gonna do your thing?
You know what? It wasn't important to me because we had already set the date and he does just lovely things for no reason at all. Um, so it didn't matter to me. I was already going to be at the altar and looking forward to that and like in wedding planning mode, and so was he. So it was a pleasant surprise, a beautiful surprise, but and unexpected for sure. But yeah, I didn't know at all. I just thought we were going out with friends and cousins and having a good time. And then when that happened, I was like, well, this is a great time.
Um, Men, if any men are watching this, please take note
Oh gosh.
on all of this because
He'll be embarrassed watch. He's gonna be like, oh God, babe,
no,
seriously.
this is he needs to do like how to be a gentleman
You should do
book
a
or something.
podcast, eh? I know.
Yeah.
He's
Like
so he's so anti social media. That's the thing. He'll go on social media like once a year during. I know it's coming up during my birthday, just to post like a picture of me and to like make sure everyone knows he has social media, but he doesn't use it. He doesn't know the passwords to his Facebook
I don't know
or
the passwords to
Instagram.
anything.
I know it's so hard, right? Like, oh God. And then they ask you to change it, and you're like, what? I just
Yeah.
remembered my old one.
No, but for real, he needs to do some, I don't know, men's talk about how to be a good partner and stuff, but
Oh.
he needs to do that.
He's channeling that into our son to make him like a good little mini man, just watching that too is so beautiful. Like I just like, and then I in certain circumstances where they say, those stupid cliches where they're like, oh, you'll fall in love all over again. I thought it was just bogus talk, but now when I watch them with our kids, I'm like, oh, you're so lovely. Oh, trust me though, he's an asshole when he wants to be an asshole. So for anyone out there who thinks he's just this Romeo, for every amazingness, we're all humans. We all have
Yeah.
some flaws, including me. So
But for the most part, like Dal, let's good job. Um, and you got to take credit too because it's you too. He wouldn't
oh,
just like if it was probably someone else, he it wouldn't be like this. So
oh, well,
yeah.
thank you.
Um, so how long after did you guys decide or want to have kids?
So after we got married, we wanted to continue to travel, which we did. We kind of went the unconventional route when it comes to weddings and receptions in our culture. Most people, they have the wedding, well, a week long of festivities, the wedding, and then they have a grand reception. We had decided we'd have a nice wedding. We'd do the festivities for that week, but instead of a reception, we decided to purchase a home, which caused chaos because everyone was looking forward to a party and it was unspoken of at that point. Like culturally, I think a lot of in South Asian communities, a lot of men and the future daughter-in-laws live in the home, the same home. And because nobody had done it prior to us, there was a lot of backlash. Not necessarily from his cousins or wives. It was like, the elders, they would either pull me aside or have just a lot to say. So we purchased a home and we were both 27 and we kind of jumped into real adulting, all the bills, all, hydro bill. I didn't even know what that was. Spoiled brat living with my wonderful daddy. So when all that stuff came, I was like, wow, we're really adulting now. So I think with traveling and just working full time and then maintaining a household, we knew, like not to jump right into having kids and to enjoy each other as like husband and wife. So we did. It wasn't until we got married in 2012 and then my GV had gotten pregnant and they had informed us and we shortly after got pregnant as well. And even then we were like, oh no, oopsies kind of thing.
Hmm.
But we lost the baby, so it wasn't until yeah, no, it's okay. It wasn't until losing the baby though that we realized like, wow, we really want to be parents. Like, you when you get excited and you're wrapping your head around like this could be like something and then to just like have it suddenly ripped away. I think it was the realization for both of us that we wanted to be parents.
Hmm.
So that was in I think mid 2014. And from that point on, we struggled. Like we went to the doctors, it had been a year and nothing was happening. And then it started becoming like a chore because, they were like, you got to do it at this optimal time or that optimal. So it just started to become a task. And it was taking just like the fun and that like beauty element of the intimacy in our partnership away. So then we shelved it and we decided to go. I think we went to New York just to have some fun, like and come back and reassess. And then by 2017, that's where we were like, okay, like this is taking a lot of time. Let's jump to the next step. We really need to figure this out. And then that's when we were diagnosed with unexplained infertility. And it wasn't until finally 2018 we finally had my son Xander. So it took 4 years from us losing our pregnancy to finally being able to conceive and having our first child.
Um, how many like pregnancies did you lose? Just the one, and then
So we had the first one that we lost, which was in 2014, and then we did our first round of IVF in 2016, and we had a transfer in July, which didn't work, a transfer in October, which didn't work, and then another transfer in January 2017, which didn't work. So a full round of IVF didn't work. And at that point, they sit you down and they kind of like, like, okay, we figured out what didn't work. So like, let's jump back into it and like pay for another round of IVF. So I think I was just so tunnel visioned at that point. I didn't really have time to think other than like, I just see an end goal and a baby, so I'm just gonna jump in. And Dal was more like, you're leading the ship. It is your body, but he was cautious on just everything we went through that year prior with the three failed. That he was like, "Are you sure?" And I think bless him because had it not been him giving me that, I don't want to say permission, more like blessing of like, yes, I'm here with you if you feel you can handle it, let's do back to back rounds. So I jumped into it again, and we finally were able to have a fresh transfer in 2017. I think on my birthday I had like the trigger shot. We went out for my birthday and I was like, it's time sensitive, time to take a trigger shot. And we transferred on April 6th, 20. You don't forget these dates when it comes to IVF. That's the thing. It's like ingrained. If you ask me like for somebody's name that I just met like yesterday, I couldn't tell you. But like these dates when you're going through IVF, you just like they're concrete, like stuck with you. So that's why I'm so specific. Yeah, so April 6th, we had the transfer, and then the pregnancy was positive by mid-April, and then Xander came in January of the following year. Yeah.
so I am not. well informed in the IVF world. All I
Hmm.
know is that it can take a toll on your body and it's a lot. And the that you had to go through that many rounds. Can you tell me like how like emotionally you said you kind of weren't really there or but
Yeah,
like
so I think during the time I went through it, either people were like, so the circle of friends I had, only one I think had a child, and everyone else, they were either getting married or not married, in the dating scene. My cousins were either younger or already had children. So I was in this like little island of like all alone, not knowing anyone that went through it. And Instagram wasn't really, it wasn't out there for information. I think it had just come out in like 2012, something around that time. And it was just really like taking over Facebook, like, let's share our fun weekend highlights. It wasn't like a blogger's space to go. Um, so I didn't really have anyone to talk to about it. And I think what the kicker was at that time, I worked in maternity at the hospital. So I saw like pamphlets that were just so generic, like pregnancy loss or, just like random things, nothing about infertility. So it was very new. Um, or I'd see like young kids or young teenagers come in and want to abort, their children. So I had like all these feelings where I hadn't processed myself and trying so hard to have kids that I was this young, well, in my 20s, trying to figure it out and not realizing Dal was trying to figure it out too. So I think for about 8 months, we were just kind of on our own independent journey on surviving what we were in, that after a while we realized that we had created a bit of a distance in our own relationship as well, and had to really have like a hard talk around, look, if this doesn't work and we don't have kids, what does that mean for us? So it forced us to have conversation, which I think was amazing, because I think that reassurance from him and for me to him around, if we don't have kids, we still love each other enough to, still carry on with life, uh, gave me that the oomph to kind of continue on even in silence, because I didn't have anyone else to talk to about it. And that part was hard. So it was a huge motivating factor for me to kind of have a space online where I don't have to publicly announce who's talking to me, but my DMs. And I think my social work background falls so perfectly in. This is that confidential piece where when people do come to talk to me about what they're going through, it's so protected. Like,
Mm,
there isn't a time where I would be like, oh, so and so went through this, or that person's baby is actually, no, like, I find it so sacred that they're finding space to even open up and to have it normalized, and just to have a sigh of relief around like going through it and not feeling alone,
yeah.
because that is hard on it. That's so hard to feel like you're going through it alone in darkness and just silence and injecting in the washroom secretly, like it's hard. And I'm needle phobic too. So it is one of the worst things I've had to do, because the needles were just, ugh, hate them even thinking about it. Mm-mm.
Like like how like tell me the process of it if you don't mind for
Mhm.
other people that don't know. Like
Yeah, yeah. So it could be different for, a lot of the foundation of it is quite similar. Like, you do have to do, there's a stimulation period where you have to take those injections. It could be anywhere between, a week to 2 weeks, where you're taking daily injections, morning, mid-afternoon, nighttime. And that's just the process for your body to create more follicles, so eggs, more than just the one that you would produce during your menstrual cycle and your natural cycle. So by the end of it, your like ovaries are just full. It feels like you can't walk. Um, I know it's like cramping on a different level. Some women tell me that they're not phased at all, and I'm just like, oh my God, I wish I had that. No. The guys part of it is so easy. It's literally going into, I remember Dal was like, okay, I gotta go into this room, and they have like a bunch of porno magazines and like a TV of porn, and I'm like, Sucks to be you, because I'm gonna be in a room with my legs wide open and have, I called her Wanda. It's like an ultrasound little wand. I'm like, just like put up all the way up in me, and I'm like, you enjoy your time, I'll be enjoying my time being a lab rat. So for the woman, of course, it's quite invasive. We're the vessel, right? So we're the one who are going to carry to term and hope for the best, but um definitely invasive, very invasive. And then you're just kind of sitting there nervous. The waiting period for any um period. Like you get to one stage and you're like, okay, what's next? And then it's that waiting period. You get to the next phase and then it's that waiting period. It's always that waiting period of unknown what's going to happen because you're out of control. And
Yeah.
I think because I'm a person that loves to be like, I love to be spontaneous, but for certain things I need control in my life. So having to surrender to the process, and I think that's the only way to make for a positive result. You have to surrender fully for it to work. Otherwise, you're just in this high level of anxiety. It's already anxious enough going through the process. So surrendering was difficult, but I think once I got to that, it clicked for me, and I was like, you know what? It'll work and it'll be great. And if it doesn't, it's okay. And we'll just have a conversation on what's next then.
Yeah. Did it take a toll on your body though? Like, how did you feel?
Okay, so when I had Xander, because I did the back-to-back rounds, so I did the stimulation period with the three failed transfers. Um, and so yeah, that hormonally you're just kind of all over the place. I think what worked for me was the age, because I was in my, I think we started the first process in, I think I was 29. So I had a bit of youth on my side. And then Xander's was a year later, so at 30-ish. And then once again, yeah, you're tired, you're hormonal, but I think a lot of women don't think about that because you're so focused on having a baby. So you don't like, I don't really recall being tired or, emotionally I do recall being exhausted, but there's just something in me where like I'm just not somebody that gives up, where I was like, nope, we're gonna make this happen. And I had manifested it too. I just focused on, and I remember dreaming about this too, like in my old living room, I was sitting in the corner with my baby. I couldn't tell you if it was a girl or a boy, and people coming over to meet us. Oh,
Sorry.
bless you.
Thank you.
And I just held on to that, even during the highly medicated periods of the process, or, the times where I did have failure. And I just kept telling myself, nope, it'll happen. And like, to get something this beautiful and amazing, I'm going to have to go through hurdles. I'm going to have to just continue on the hardships because the end result is just going to be amazing.
Were you ever paranoid? Like, oh my gosh, I gotta like cover this bubble in case something happens because of that?
I was the opposite. I wanted to share so much, but I was told not to during that time because of shame or stigma. And I was being told, and I think the intention behind the people that were telling me, they're older, they're respectable. And during that process, because you're so overwhelmed anyway and emotionally exhausted, you want some direction from somebody a little bit wiser than you.
Yeah.
So where I wanted to share, I just decided I'm just going to listen to these guys. They know better. They have more lived experience. They too have been through losses. But I think going through loss back in the day, like my mom talks about it as if it was like, well, I went through a few miscarriages, but she also had four kids. So and I think the language and the conversation behind having that, although well intended, when somebody has nothing, no child, and they're going through losses, it's harder to comprehend and look to
Mhm.
the future and be like, okay, yeah, one day it will be okay, because it's harder to imagine. Um, and I think because we talk about it so much more now and normalize the hurt behind it, there's that dialogue that it's okay, yes, but it's also okay to feel that loss. And I think during my parents' generation, it was just the norm to get over it.
Yeah.
Try again. Don't talk about it. Don't unfold those feelings. Like you're fretting over something that wasn't even, when in actuality it could have been something amazing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Did the doctors ever tell you guys why you couldn't?
So we fell into the category of unexplained. So that really means, even for the doctors, while everything comes out amazing and all the test results are in good standing, both his and mine, that it falls under unexplained. And one of my fertility doctors explained it, and I have dry humor, and I dry and dark humor, and I think she recognized that, so she was able to speak to me in this way. But she explained it as if, like, while Dal and I are compatible, our sperm and egg don't like each other. So therefore they're just not compatible for it to actually like work in the natural setting of how usually babies are created. And therefore we need a science lab to do so. And my grandma, bless her, I love her so much, she knows I'm a little bit she calls me the designer grandchild. She knows I'm bougie. This is a thing.
You're so bougie. I
I'm
love
so
it though.
bougie. I'm bougie, but I'm humble, okay?
Yeah. No, I love it though.
No, so she's like, well, for my designer grandchild, we need designer babies. And I'm just like, oh. So, laughter definitely helps. And it did help
Yeah.
um, during the process, for
Maybe
sure.
your egg was just playing hard to get, you know?
I know, right? For years, God.
So, after Xander,
Hmm.
Zoe, how long was that? And did you guys have complications in between?
So when we conceived with Xander, we had 5 embryos that we froze. And we were told at 6 weeks, yeah, the baby's in your tummy, which was Xander, and he's 6 weeks, and this is great. However, the 5 embryos that you have decided to freeze, we sent them off for extra testing. They've all come back abnormal. And I was like, oh, let me just live my high around being pregnant. Now I have to think about those 5 abnormal embryos, which then comes with, you have to discard them. So trash them pretty much.
Hmm.
And I was at that point, I'm like, I'm not going to let anyone ruin the bubble I'm in. We can shelf this. Here's some money. Let's just pay for embryo storage. I'm not discussing this until I have this baby in my arms, which is Xander. And that was April 2017. They had told me to like
Mhm.
trash the other embryos. Um,
And you
I
said
had
no.
Xander in January 2018. And even then, I was in disbelief. My pregnancies, I have to say, and people probably hate me for this, my pregnancies were amazing. No symptoms. No, I was like a track star. I loved it. I traveled. Nothing except for like random cramping. And that was probably just because I was just always doing something, walking, running, working out. God knows, man, I was just doing it all. And I was in pure bliss. All the injuries I felt before, like my backache, because I was in car accidents, and my ankles, I had broken my ankle prior to being pregnant. Like all those injuries and chronic pain, they just disappeared. I was like, gosh, being pregnant is awesome. No mornings. I know people are gonna hate me for this. No
No,
morning sickness, none of it.
you
But you
went
know
through
what?
other things,
I
man.
paid the toll. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's that. If I could have a pregnancy that was amazing, great. I mean, mind you, I paid for it during both my deliveries. They're horrific. So balance, right?
Yeah.
Balance. Um, but yeah, no. So when we had Xander, we knew at that point, maybe a month. No, actually, during the delivery, the OB was like, "So, do you want another baby?" And this is even after having an emergency C-section, and my immediate answer was like, "Yes, more." And so I knew early on that I wanted siblings for my kids. I grew up with siblings and extended family. There was just no way I imagined having one without them having that gift of a sibling. So we decided, when we wanted to give Xander his like first year and celebrate motherhood and fatherhood. And we had a great old party for him during his first birthday. And once that was all done, we're like, yep, ready for round three. So we went back to our fertility clinic and said, Yep, discard those 5 embryos. Let's start fresh. I went through the stim period again, the injections, the medication, all of that. And we ended up with Zoe being a fresh transfer, and then we froze from her cycle 2 embryos. So once again, the pregnancy was lovely. So Xander was born January 2nd, and we timed Zoe around the same time, like a January baby. And they told us, yep, you can have her on the January 2nd as well, because it was like a planned C-section. And we were like so on board. We're like, yeah, they'll both have the same birthday. And by like the 7th month, we had asked them, we're like, can we change that? We want their own like special day. So she came January 7th, 2 years after Xander did. And we had those frozen embryos. We did try frozen embryo transfer in 2024, and it didn't take. It took for about, I think we lost that 2 weeks after our transfer. And then we still have one on ice frozen, but we just don't know what to do. It's hard when you've gone through such a process, whether you want to have more kids or not, just to discard an
Yeah.
embryo after going through all of that. But one remains on ice and frozen.
So you guys are indefinite. You don't know if you want one
We
more.
go back and forth. It's so funny, right? Like in 2024, I was all about like, yeah, I'll have this last one in my 30s, And then like you start thinking about age, and on the flip side, you're like, in today's day and age, you're like seeing these people who are in their 40s who are having babies. And then so I think my husband, Dallas, funny. He's like, you know what? Who cares? It's our legacy. Like, if we want more children, that's our business. And the kids get like, another sibling. So that's perfect for us. And as long as health wise you feel good, let's go for it. So I go back and forth. It's definitely not a closed door, but I definitely do go back and forth. I'm in such a sweet spot right now with both Xander and Zoe. They're in elementary together, kindergarten, grade two. I I finally have a bit of like me time because I have like immense mom guilt for like the silliest things. Like I could go to the gym, right? I could go to the gym, and this is when they're younger, and they'll be with Dell. And I'm like, oh my God, they're probably wondering where mommy is. I'm like,
My,
why is she left?
yeah, my sister used to be like, you need to chill out.
I
I'm like,
know.
I
Hmm.
can't. I'm like, what time is it? I'm like, we've been gone for an hour. I'm
I
like,
know. It's crazy. I used
yeah.
to get my hair. It's so funny. I did. I got my hair done last week, and it was so emotional for me because I used to love getting my hair done. And when I had kids, I knew I was like, there's no way I'm gonna leave my kids for like 4 to 8. Because some of these amazing, talented hairdressers, they just take like 8, 9 hours, and I just don't have 8, 9 hours. I barely have an hour. Okay, so there was one time where I took Xander with me, and I'm like breastfeeding at that time, and I'm not producing enough milk, and the appointment's taking longer and longer. I mean, mind you, I asked for probably like everything, like teal and blah. God, I just asked for the most bizarre stuff. So bless her for like doing it while I had this little baby who's crying, and I'm trying to. It was a circus, and it was just full of anxiety for me that I was like, nope, I'm not gonna do this anymore. I found like a mobile hair person at one point who used to come over to my house, and even then, so I just shelved it and started box dyeing for so long.
Really?
Yeah, I started box dyeing because I was like, the anxiety was crippling for me just to leave them, and they would be with their dad, happy, doing whatever they were doing.
I know it's an us problem.
It's enough.
Yeah.
It was such a us like me problem. I had
Yeah.
an issue, trust me.
Yeah.
And I think for me, because it took so long to have them, and we were still motivated to be like hands-on parents and not rely on childcare, I really took it too serious. I was just like, no, I can't part from them at all. Like I was crazy. But now they're at school, I can get my hair done. No mom guilt. They're
I
having fun.
know. I
I know,
know,
but
right? Like it's also because like that was your identity for so long that you're like, who am I after? Kind of,
mhm,
right? That's how
mhm.
I felt. I'm just like, "Oh, I'm only a mom. Like this is it.
Such a
Like,
struggle, right?
yeah.
To find yourself again.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
is. But your hair looks amazing.
Oh, thank you, girl. Thanks, thanks.
Like, well, you always look
Oh, you're too
Yeah.
kind.
You
You should
guys,
see me.
the outfits, the red outfit, holy
Oh,
moly.
my Vegas outfit.
Holy crap.
That
Okay.
was my guys. I don't look like that often. Usually I have like a bun. You should see like even when I go to the office, I'm so I should put more effort. One of the reasons I cut my hair so short was because my siblings and my cousins and my parents were all like, "You're like the one out of all the girls who like don't in our family that doesn't put her hair down." My hair is either up in a ponytail, and I think that spills over from like us playing basketball and volleyball. Our hair was always up, like it's out of our face. So I still have that little bit of me in me. So I chopped my hair and I was like, well, now I can't put it up anymore because it's like up to here.
Yeah.
Oh, I still found a way. I still did. So when I go to office sometimes with my hair down, I'll get like looks like, whoa, wow, like what did you do? I'm like, just wash my hair. I just put it
I
down
know
today.
that's yeah, because I'm always in athletic wear. So when people are
Mhm.
like, "Oh, wow." Like I'm like, I do have other clothes. I
Oh,
know. I just
right?
I can't help it. Like that's the only thing that comes to my head is just like be comfy and
I know.
yeah. Um yeah, so now they're 8 and 6. They're so cute. They do
No,
look a
thanks.
lot like you. Holy
Oh,
moly. Especially Zoe. I'm like
I
in
know.
pictures, I was like, I wonder if she's like just as sassy.
Oh, she is. It trips me out. It really, okay. So my mom was like, this, she's just like you. And I was like, well, I can't recall when I was like 4, 5, 6, right?
Mhm.
But oh my God, I laugh because there are certain times I do remember from when I was a little bit younger where I was always cheeky. Like if somebody said something, like I was ready with a joke or my timing was quite precise when I was trying to make a funny, and she is good. Like I at times where I want to like discipline her, I have to first fight back laughter and get into like mom mode to be like, "Okay, Zoe,
Yeah.
although funny, let's not do that." Or she'll like test me. She'll be like, "Mommy, I heard somebody who's a grown up say," and then she'll like spell it out. And she's like, "What is it? Spell again?" And I'm like, "You just spelled out fuck." Like, I'm not like, no, child, no. Like, just, and she'll be like, "I'm not saying it. You said it." Gosh. So
Oh,
she's a funny one, but even with both of them, like we wake up with like good intention. We always practice kindness, and this is like our family mantra, right? Like you don't go to school, you don't go to any of your activities, you don't leave the home ever with bad intention. You always try to like spread kindness, even if that means somebody else on the flip side is being rude, mean, like that's your opportunity to correct it or like rise above it. And I have to say, for like my kids, they're quite young. And even at a younger age, they knew when they recognized somebody or a situation where somebody was being bullied or somebody wasn't, being nice to someone else.
okay, we're back. I'll cut
Sorry.
that part out. No, no, that's totally fine. Technology. Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
so when she got kicked out because, can you just tell them who was calling? That was pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
no, so it's so funny. We just put it out in the universe. Anna and I were just talking about, of course, that embryo that's frozen right now. And that was my fertility clinic calling for this year, probably wondering. I didn't pick it up, it went to voice. But they're probably wondering what my plan is with this embryo. So my
Like,
husband's going to be very pleased that they're calling because I'm the one who's like the back and forth of it. And even them now are probably wondering, like, what do you want to do with this embryo?
what are the chances they're calling, at this moment? That is
You know.
crazy timing, I
It's a
tell you.
sign. Gosh.
Yeah. Um, what would you tell someone that's going through the process right now? Like, if you could give them some advice.
You know what? I think I've been having these conversations with so many women, and I'm so raw about it. Like, I think you can only imagine how challenging it is. And it is. Like it definitely is challenging. I think what you really need during that time, and is so important, although the woman does, I have to say, 90. 98% of, the process, because, the meal part is such a small task in the actual procedure. I think you really have to have a foundation and be rooted in partnership, because while you're going through it, it's a space where you need someone to tell you it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to just fall apart. It's okay to be emotionally exhausted. It's okay to be angry. And I think had I not had that in my partnership, it would never have come to fruition. I would never have been able to feel confident and feel resilient in doing multiple rounds had it not been for my partner. I did a lot of the physical procedures, and yeah, those take a toll naturally on you, and you're just pumped with hormones, and it is definitely hard. But I think it took me recognizing that the person I chose to love also had a hard time watching me go through it, and could have easily been like, that's it. I can't want you to do it anymore. I don't want to sign up for another. But instead, he really had faith in my superpower of getting through it and being strong. But also, it's because he allowed me to be vulnerable. And I never once felt like, gosh, I'm so inadequate. I feel so like useless. I don't know why it's me. I never had to question that. Like, why me? Why me? Because he just had this like very, I don't know. Like, I always question him too. Like, where did you find that strength? Like, to just be like, it'll work out. Don't worry about it. Like, he's just always been so, don't stress about these things that, like, you have no control over. If you have no control over it anyways, why are you going to stress? Just jump in. So I think my thing is, like, make sure the partner you choose
Yeah.
really, really supports you through it.
What is one thing you did not expect during the process?
I really thought it's just like when somebody's like IVF, you're like, yay, IVF equals baby. No, it is so much more complicated than that. It is layers and layers of tests and procedures, and like you're just blindsided by one thing after the next, and you have to graduate from one like portion to get to the next. So it I really was shocked and naive that I thought IVF just meant problem solved. You go through this extra little step to get your baby, and you get to choose your baby, the color, the hair, the gender. No, that's all very glamorized by Hollywood. That don't happen in BC or Canada. You get to go through IVF, and you kind of surrender to the process, and there's no guarantee that there's a baby.
May I ask how expensive it is?
So we are in it at this point. So after two live, um, they call it live births. So the ones that did successfully come out of IVF, three rounds and six transfers, plus prior to the IVF transfers, we did IUI, which is just another step before. We're a little bit over 154K. Yeah. And then we pay a storage fee of about 750 every year, just to kind of maintain that embryo on ice, because I'm so undecided. So we're just like, here's another 750 for the year. Because I don't want to
Wow.
discard that. Yeah, so just a little over 154K.
Shh. People don't know that, hey? Like,
No, and I think a lot of people don't know that many women that do go through it, they are very mindful, I think, just in their health. So many of these women do try holistic practices, whether that be acupuncture or a naturopath, and those things cost a lot. Like I remember going through acupuncture probably for a year, and it was about $120 per session. And like I'm so thankful that we were given the tools to have professions and family and support to allow us to have some affordability. But there's so many people that are so deserving of like starting a family, and they just can't access this because it's so out of space, the astronomical number that is attached to having a baby via IVF, and then just the coverage that like the government, like I'm so happy that the government's moving forward with some funding, but
I've heard that.
but it gets eaten up. Like, that was eaten up so quickly last year, and I think right now it's on hold too. And so when funding is now available, but then put on hold, it also then plays with your mind because you want to access funding if you're eligible, and that's income tested, right? So not everyone will be eligible. But on the flip side, you're racing against the clock too. A lot of us have a timeline where you want a baby, but then do you want to wait 9 months, 6 months, a year for funding? No. So there's always something that you're trying to
Like, it's
navigate.
such a mind fuck, I feel.
Yeah,
Like,
which is why you have to surrender, right? Because
yeah.
your mind will be fucked the entire
And you
time.
can't control it. You just
Mm-mm.
like it's wow.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
the last thing that I wanted to ask you, and and something that happened in your life that was pretty traumatic was your brother that passed
Mm.
away. Can you
So
talk
he was,
about that?
yeah. So when we grew up, and this is the thing.
And I'm
So
so sorry.
oh, no, thank you. So it was actually my first cousin. So I think we grew up, the eight of us, and no one could, the outside world just didn't know.
Yeah, we were all like,
No one knew.
yeah,
Yeah. And I think it all falls under like the guidance of my dad. My mom and dad, we were like this new version of the Brady Bunch, I swear. Like we all have the street we grew up on, Montego Street, is very sacred. Half the time we're all like trying to figure out a way to like steal the street sign, although illegal. Don't worry, no one's done it. Uh, but it was just like this time that's frozen for all of us where we grew up, we, played basketball, hockey, like we just goofed off as kids. And there was the eight of us. So my mom, her sisters, so it was my mom's side, and he was the first out of us eight, and thankfully, touch wood, no one else has had to suffer any medical distress or lose a life. But it was very sudden. He passed away, and it was a shock to all of us because he was the eldest out of the eight of us. He was our, brother for all of us too. So to lose somebody you grew up with, um, and at such a young age, because now most of us have passed that point. He died at 32. Yeah, he was supposed to turn 33 that year. And I believe the youngest of us, well, he's still 31, but we're all near that age or past that age where life just begins, at that point. Like I hadn't even had kids at that point, and to look back at like all the things that we've all accomplished and continued on gaining in life, what life has given us. We still have moments, and I know my older sister and I, we still have moments where like there'll be something that just like takes us right back to us growing up making forts, in the snow with him, or there'll be like a song that pops up and, it'll take us back to a moment. So yeah, it was definitely a hard time because our family grew up so together, and we're all very close to this day. But his mom, my aunt, it was her only son. So I think it's just like such a hard thing for her to navigate this world and find a space she calls or feels at home when you lose your one child. But we definitely try to celebrate, him in memory, and, tell stories, and my kids know who he is, we still look at pictures. But that's life, right? Like I think we lose people, and we can most definitely sit there in that grief. And I think grief is definitely a beautiful feeling to have because it just demonstrates all that love you do have for that person. But and we try to reframe it now in a way where we do celebrate those times where it was joy, and then in that we do try to tell our kids stories where we all got to goof off and be around him, and he still lives through those stories, and our kids do know of him. So yeah.
that's beautiful. And I'm so sorry. Like, oh my gosh, because I don't know who, like to this day, I don't know who's your actual
Mhm.
your sibling. Didn't you have like a Filipino?
Yeah,
No?
so this is funny. So during the time I met Dal, actually a couple of years before, and I still consider him my brother. So His name is Jesse. I call him Bub. We all have a period of time where we rebel, and you touched on me being a little sassy. I think I've always been that person where I've done things that have felt good to me and my heart, and just kind of like whether it be social justice or like challenging somebody if I just feel it's wrong. Like my sister got married to a Caucasian fella, and I remember I was just like ready, like to challenge anyone who would be like, "Oh, well, he's not brown," and I was like, "And so what?" Thankfully, my family's quite open, and that conversation didn't happen internally, but we were ready for well, I was ready to pounce and attack on anyone outside the family to challenge that because what you're going to say something about love, and my parents too. My parents have a relationship that's quite unconventional in our culture. My dad was of a higher status, and my mom was, belonged to a lower status, and we were outcasted. My siblings and I, the four of us and I, and my dad eloped with my mom, and they created a beautiful life. And that was all done on their merit while being outcasted from his side. And so we don't really know my dad's side of the family just because of the choice my dad made in love. So I think it's that challenging of what feels true comes from the demonstration of love that's already in front of me and kind of, stemming from there and leading from there and reaching for justice in any situation. But and going back to you saying that Filipino brother, he came at the most perfect time. I was quite rebellious after high school. I didn't want to go to uni right away. I kind of wanted to find my own self. And I think in doing so, my older sister was very rule following. She's quite classy, sophisticated to this day. Very much never judged me for my actions, but it came with a lot of heat from my parents when I was trying to navigate my own norm. And he kind of came into my life at a time where he was the only one I listened to. Like, he just was like a good, wise sounding, like the way he delivered a message was almost cool, where I was like, oh, I could buy into this. And my mom, was like, you need to move in. So he lived with us, and he was the only one that I, found guidance on love or dating and school. And my mom was just like so thankful at that time because we were no longer fighting. And I was finally able to understand my mom's side and his side, and like, being a young 20-year-old. And then eventually I met Dal, and he navigated a lot of our first year woes as well because I was so stubborn and challenging. So, yeah, no, he's definitely family, and my family loves him. My mom loves him to this day, is just like thankful for him.
Mm. That's so
Yeah.
beautiful. Like everyone that comes on here, like I know how many people they're gonna help or already are helping, and like you're one of them. Like
Mm.
you have no idea. Like just like you sharing your story, how it impacts other people, and it's just so beautiful. So I'm just like so thankful that you decided to come on here because there's gonna be a lot more people that you're gonna be helping.
Oh.
So thank you so much for sharing and being vulnerable and telling everyone. Because again, yeah, like some people don't talk about it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's hard, like what you have to go through. And sometimes the stigma, like, oh, what's wrong with that? Or you know what I mean? Like, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So if people want to reach you, where can they reach you?
Yeah, so they can reach me at my page. It's initially started just around the infertility piece and me talking about it openly, but now it's, more than that. It's become just more about navigating like what comes after motherhood and during motherhood. Like, how do you find yourself? The guilt around having a girls' night, or, going on a trip. Like this year, my husband and I, we finally planned a trip, just him and I, to go watch Backstreet Boys. And already I can feel that buildup of anxiety because we've never traveled without the kids. Like, I'll go on a girls trip, or he'll go on, but one of us is always with them. So I think the page started off something. Now it's branched out just naturally in where I am, and I think a lot of women are in the course of motherhood and trying to find yourself again, and making sure that you're good. If you're good as a person of, separate from all these titles, just you good as Anna or me good as just Vicky, naturally you're that's going to spill into all the other roles. So I think that's the focus of my page now. But it is called Motherhood A to Z, two Z's. And the Z's are, and so A to Z just means, everything that comes in during that part of your life. And the two Z's at the end are for Xander and Zoe. So that's
Oh,
the name. Yeah.
well, okay. I know what the Zs were before, but I didn't know. Ah, I like it. Yeah, so I'll put this on the show notes as well. So if anybody wants to reach you or ask any questions or share, they can reach you. Okay, there's one more thing. There's a few questions that I ask everyone at the end. So one of them is if you had a superpower
Mm-hmm.
or it could be a superhero, what would it be?
Okay, so we're a Marvel family. And my favorite character is Iron Man. Love. Not just because of Robert Downey Jr., but I just love what he brings into his superheroism. Like he's a sassy, he has humor, but he's
Yeah.
just brilliant of the mind. So he's
Yeah.
created all this superpower within his own he's like enhanced himself.
It's
Like
like a mix of you and Dell.
totally. There you go. But yes, Iron Man for sure.
Um, what is your favorite snack you can't live without?
Healthy or when I'm indulging?
Both.
Okay, so my healthy snack that I can't live without, and most of them in my house think I'm gross. So those sesame flavor rice thins?
Oh, yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay, yeah. So you have that. You put a little cheese, like spreadable cheese on there, and then you add a little balsamic glaze. It's like a bougie snack, gosh, now that I'm saying it out loud. But anyway, it's so good. And it's probably because I love, remember when we grew up, like cheese and spreadable. What was it? It's probably that.
Cheese
Oh,
whiz?
remember when we grew up and it was like you went to school and then you opened up that package and there's like cheese on
Oh,
one
oh,
hand
the thing
with
that
the
you,
red
yeah,
stick?
yeah, yeah,
That's probably why I love it so much. So that's
yeah,
my bougie stuff. It's
yeah.
probably comes a bit of why I love charcuterie too. And then my unhealthy snack, and we can't have this in the house because I will eat the whole box. Um, are Fudgios. We're not like we can't even have them in the house because I have no will, no discipline, so they just don't exist. But if you put that in front of me, I'll go through the box.
That's hilarious because you make cookies.
I don't eat them at all. Isn't that
What?
weird? I know. So I'm a traditionalist. So I love a good chocolate chip cookie or a Fudgio. And other than that, it doesn't go beyond that. I don't like these fancy cookies or like sugar cookies. I know. I just
What?
like a good chocolate chip cookie that's warm with a glass of milk, which is another
Oh.
reason we don't have those in the house either. Oh, God.
Okay, last one. You guys, she takes Arbonne too. So if you could
Mm,
take one Arbonne product. Oh,
I'm
shit.
drinking it right now.
Yeah. I like that cup, by the way.
Oh, thanks. It was my aunt's. I stole it from her.
Love
Yeah.
it. If you could take one Arbonne product on an island, what would it be? Just one.
I think I would have to take that gut glow. Is it
Mm,
just to kind of keep my tummy feeling, working properly, making sure I'm not bloated, feeling yucky inside. Or my shake, my meal replacement
is
shake.
that chocolate?
Yeah, it is.
Yum.
I
Yeah, I'm
know.
doing I'm greens right now. That's
Oh,
like,
yes.
yeah. Last thing also, because we were talking about cookies, where can they order cookies from you?
Oh, thank you. That's from my page, Delicious Treats.
Okay,
So it's
and then
not,
I'll put that down as
yeah.
well.
So it's not delicious. It's Dal, as in
For Dal.
Dal.
For
Yes,
Dal.
Dal. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. I so appreciate it. I know it like took like so long, but I'm so appreciative. Thank you. You're gonna help so many people.
Oh, thank you.
And yeah, I can't wait to post this one. So
Oh, well, I appreciate your time, and we have to see each other in person in real
yes,
life soon.
yes. I'm
Well,
going
thanks so
away
much.
soon, but when I'm back, yeah,
Where are you going?
Mexico.
Oh, lucky.
I need the
Not Puerto
sun.
Vallarta, right?
No, no, Cancun, other side.
Mm.
Yeah, but hey, anything can happen. So just
Okay,
Yeah.
let's just think positive thoughts.
Think
Positive thoughts.
positive. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you
Okay.
everyone for tuning in. I will put her contacts in the show notes so you guys can reach her. Yeah, have a great day. It's so nice out.
I know. All right. Happy spring. Take care. Bye.
Bye.